Hello, Recapped Mr. here. Today, I'm going to explain a heist thriller film, Inside Man. Watch out and take care. Dalton Russell presents himself while sitting in a dark room that he claims is a prison cell, and explains he has committed a perfect robbery. A crew of criminals dressed in painter's boiler suit raids the Manhattan Trust Bank in New York. While they are holding individuals hostage, a police officer notices strange behavior at the bank and reports the robbery to the force. Detectives Keith Frazier and Mithsal are told about the robbery and asked to lead discussions with the thieves. They arrive at the crime scene, where the police are preparing their setup, and are briefed on the most recent developments. Robbers instruct the captives to congregate in the main hall, where they retrieve their keys and cell phones. One of the bank employees attempts to hide his phone, saying that he left it at home, but their leader discovers it in his office area and beats him in front of everyone, sending the message that everyone must obey their orders. The hostages are then forced to dress in coveralls and masks like the thieves. Meanwhile, they come upon an elderly sick guy and place him outside the bank with a letter warning the police to stay away. Arthur Case, the bank's chairman of the board of directors, phones a fixer named Madeline White and asks for her assistance in the ongoing robbery at his bank. He tells her about a bank safety deposit box and wants her to preserve it at all costs, but he doesn't reveal anything about the contents of the box. The police continue their investigation and attempt to contact the robbers, but no one answers the phone, and they don't uncover anything valuable in the surveillance tape because the criminals have already shut off the cameras. After a while, the thieves send another prisoner outside with a briefcase with another message requesting that the police prepare 2 buses and a jet for them by 9 p.m., or the hostages will face the consequences. As the cops analyze the problem, Arthur pays them a visit and offers his assistance in meeting the thieves' demands, but Keith declines and asks him to go. Soon after, the police receive another message from the robbers, asking them to provide food for the captives. The cops put in a recording device hidden within the pizza boxes, and the bug quickly captures a discussion, but it's in a foreign language. The police seek citizens for assistance in identifying the language, which turns out to be Albanian. Keith summons a woman to translate the dialogue, but she discloses that it is merely a recording of one of a past Albanian president's speeches. Keith knows the thieves are trying to keep them involved in order to gain more time after listening to her, but he still cannot figure out their plan. Meanwhile, Dalton Russell unlocks safety deposit box 392 and seizes its contents. Madeline appears outside the bank and is presented to Keith, who requests that she be included in the investigations. Keith phones inside the bank again and chats to Russell, warning that he will be in prison in no time, but Russell confidently says that he will walk out via the front door and he will be unable to stop him. As time passes, the robbers divide the captives among several rooms and continue to shuffle them, while incorporating team members among them. They also continue to work on their secret plan and dig the floor inside the bank's supply room. Keith agrees to let Madeline speak with the robbers, and she offers Russell a safe path out provided he defends her interests. Russell welcomes her inside the bank after listening to her, where she offers him $2 million if he protects the contents of the box, but he declines. When Russell inquires about the contents, she denies knowing anything, but he discloses that he is aware of what is inside the box. He tells her that the box belonged to someone who worked for a bank in Switzerland during WI and profited greatly from the circumstances, which he later used to start this bank. Madeline realizes he knows about Arthur's past and asks him to accompany her to the safe deposit box. They discover an envelope holding records from Nazi Germany in the box, and Russell believes Arthur should have destroyed these documents a long time ago. She offers him assistance in exchange for a safe way out once more, but he shows no interest. Keith asks her about her interaction with the robbers outside the bank, but she ignores him, saying she is not allowed to divulge any facts with him. Keith feels the robbers are merely diverting them to purchase more time. As the squad discusses their likely plan, he decides to be proactive and phones Russell to notify him that he has prepared a jet in response to his request, but he will not hand it over until the hostages are secure. As a result, Russell welcomes him inside the bank, where he shows him around and introduces him to the hostages. He leads them to another room, where Keith tells the hostages that he will take them out soon. Keith approaches Russell and offers him two options: arrest him after the robbery or go out with him and halt the robbery now, but Russell rejects both. While speaking with him, Keith admits that they never wanted a plane and were only trying to keep them busy. Russell also inquires about Keith's personal life, to which he responds that he wishes to marry but lacks the financial resources to do so. Before departing, he baits Russell into a fight and attempts to remove his mask, but his buddies come to his rescue. Keith tells Mitchell after leaving the bank that he purposefully started the battle to learn about the thieves' mindset and has discovered that they will not harm anyone. Soon after, he is proven mistaken, when Russell contacts him, and requests that the cameras be directed to the second level, where they execute one of the prisoners in front of them. Keith becomes frustrated and hurries to the bank, where Russell informs him that he is responsible for the murders and that if he does not meet their demands, he would kill others as well. Keith's superior arrives after learning of the hostages' murder and chastises him for being careless. He makes him remain away from the case. While he plans the next move with the rest of the team, the cops decide to raid the bank and use rubber bullets to take down everyone until they can identify the culprits. Meanwhile, Keith suspects that the robbers cannot simply remain in the dark, and that they must have some method of anticipating the police's next move. He returns to the van and explores the bag they sent earlier, discovering that they had hidden a listening device and were monitoring their every move. He tells the team to cancel the idea, but they decide to go forward anyhow. Robbers who had learned about the operation deploy smoke grenades and exit the bank with the hostages. The police surround them, and Keith orders that every one of them be interrogated because some of them may be the robbers. As the hostages are kidnapped, the police enter the bank and begin searching for information about the loss. They search the supply room but are startled to discover that the burglars did not even touch the money. Keith recovers the hostages' cell phones, but is perplexed since he does not understand the point of the robbery if they did not steal anything from the bank. The squad also learns about the fake firearms and props, recognizing they had no intention of harming anyone and staged the execution just to threaten them. Keith orders the police to investigate each of the captives, but none of them are suspected of being the robbers. Keith meets with his superior and briefs him of the specifics, stating that none of the captives were discovered to be complicit because they had witnessed each other. He is asked to close the investigation owing to a lack of evidence because they cannot locate any clues or proof of the robbery. Keith agrees, but continues to seek the truth. He examines bank records and discovers that the safety deposit box number 392 is not mentioned anywhere, so he asks Mitchell to help him perform a background check. He also meets Madeline and confronts her about the investigation. He pulls out an incriminating recording he made earlier, when Madeline was presented to him and he was threatened if he didn't cooperate with her. She tells him about Arthur's ties with the Nazis after listening to it, but asks him to keep it quiet if he doesn't want to lose his job. Madeline later sees Arthur and informs Keith that she is not ready to give up on the case. Arthur inquires about the envelope, but she informs him that the gang leader has it and may want to use it against him in the future. She tells him that the robbers did not take any money from the bank, but she is certain they were seeking the contents of the box, which she believes must be more important. After some argument, Arthur discloses that the box included loose diamonds and a ring that belonged to the wife of his Jewish buddy, whom he surrendered to the Nazis for a large sum of money. She learns of his crimes but is requested to keep them hidden as part of her arrangement, which she accepts. Russell starts his monologue, claiming to be in a cell, but he is really discovered to be behind an artificial wall, in the bank's supply room, that his companions created during the robbery. He takes the gems he took from the box and emerges from the secret area a week later. Russell's crew, who is found to be among the captives but cannot be identified by the police, waits for him outside the bank to fetch him up. They notice Keith and Mitchell entering the bank and inform Russell, but he assures them that he will make it out safely. He walks out the door in his new outfit and runs into Keith, who is just entering the bank, but he doesn't recognize him. Russell rejoins his squad, who greet him enthusiastically and celebrate their victory. Meanwhile, Keith, who has the search warrants, requests that the officials accompany him to the safety deposit box 392. Inside the box, He discovers a diamond ring and a message that says follow the ring. Keith and Mitchell pay a visit to Arthur and question him about the ring, but he does not reveal anything. Keith later meets Madeline and convinces her to report Arthur to the War Crimes Unit. At home, Keith discovers a diamond in his pocket and realizes Russell placed it there for him when he knocked into him at the door. He also recalls him telling them that he will go out the front door in front of them, and he smiles in adoration. The end. Please subscribe to assist the channel, turn on notification and leave a like. Thank you for taking the time to watch. See you again soon.